My friend, the clock was ticking, the Philadelphia faithful were on edge, and Howie Roseman finally pulled the trigger. 60 receptions, 591 yards, 11 touchdowns last season. At 31 years old, this veteran fan favorite just locked in another year with the Birds. The decision has been made. The wait is over. I'm going to break down everything about this return and what it means for the Eagles' 2026 season. But first, if you're a die-hard Eagles fan, hit that like button right now and subscribe to the channel because this offseason is heating up fast and you don't want to miss a single update. With the NFL offseason in full swing, the Philadelphia Eagles entered this period with a long list of important decisions to make. One of the most anticipated involved the future of a veteran tight end who became the centerpiece of Jalen Hurts' passing attack over the years. And after pushing back the decision not once but twice, Roseman finally made his move. According to ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter, Philadelphia reached an agreement with Dallas Goedert on a one-year deal. The tight end will be back for his 9th season with the Eagles. Schefter confirmed the news directly on X, making it official. Goedert is coming home one more time. And look, my friend, the question was never whether the Eagles wanted Goedert back. The expectation throughout the entire offseason was exactly that the extension would happen at some point. What hung in the air for weeks was the timing, the structure of the deal, the details behind the negotiation. Now, with the agreement finally in place, Eagles fans can exhale and start thinking about what this team can actually do in 2026. Let's talk about what Goedert brought to the table last season, because the numbers speak for themselves. At 31 years old, plenty of people could have questioned whether this tight end still had the same explosiveness, the same ability to dominate safeties and linebackers across the field. The answer came on the field, loud and clear. In 15 games played, Goedert recorded 60 receptions, 591 yards, and, pay attention, 11 touchdowns. 11. That is not the production of a player in decline. That is an elite weapon operating at the highest level, delivering first-tier numbers week after week. Over the years, Goedert has established himself as one of Jalen Hurts' most trusted targets. The chemistry between them is something that gets built over time, through repetitions, through trust, through a deep understanding of the offense. When Hurts scans the field and needs a critical third down conversion, when the game is on the line and the Eagles need a sure-handed play in the end zone, Goedert is the name that comes up. That is not something you replace by simply signing any available player off the market. So the question becomes, was bringing him back the right call? Considering the impact this player has both on and off the field, the answer seems obvious. And that is exactly where another factor comes in that goes far beyond statistics. Goedert is not just numbers and touchdowns, he is a locker room presence. He is real leadership, the kind that never shows up in a box score, but that every teammate feels on a daily basis. He is the type of player every Super Bowl contender needs in the building. Someone who has seen the biggest games, who knows what it means to play in January with everything on the line, who guides younger players through example and lived experience. On a team entering the 2026 season with clear ambitions of returning to the top of the NFC, keeping that kind of peace was, at the very least, an absolute priority. The deal is for only 1 year. That is a very important detail. It means this could potentially be Goedert's final run in an Eagles uniform. Will he close out his career in Philadelphia after 2026? Will a strong performance this season open the door for another extension and one more chapter in this story? Those questions are still up in the air for now. But for the moment, Philadelphia has its tight end back, and that alone is more than enough reason to celebrate on the streets of Philly. But the Goedert story is only part of the equation in this Eagles offseason, because Howie Roseman has been moving pieces frequently and intelligently over the past few weeks, building a roster that clearly has its eyes set on competing at the highest level. The most notable move so far has been the signing of cornerback Riq Woolen on a one-year deal worth up to $15 million, a significant addition for a defense that needs consistency covering elite receivers across the NFC. Beyond that, the Eagles re-signed punter Braden Mann to a 4-year deal, locking in stability in the special teams unit. They brought in tight end Johnny Munt to add depth at the position alongside Goedert and Grant Calcaterra, who was also re-signed. They agreed to terms with cornerback Jonathan Jones to further bolster the secondary and signed linebacker Arnold Ebiketie to strengthen their pass rush presence. These are moves that show a Roseman working methodically across multiple areas, building depth and versatility throughout the roster without sacrificing young players or draft capital. Here's the thing, though. Howie Roseman has not yet made that explosive move that shocks the entire league. That one signing that makes everybody stop what they are doing and stare at Philadelphia, whether with admiration or concern, depending on which team you root for. The offseason is still ongoing, the 2026 NFL Draft is approaching, and knowing Roseman's track record, it would be naive to believe he is done working for the year. Now, my friend, there is a situation that still hangs over this offseason like a dark cloud above the NovaCare complex: the future of A.J. Brown. The wide receiver is still on the roster at this point, but rumors and speculation about a potential trade have not stopped circulating since the end of the season. If Brown leaves, it completely changes the dynamic of the Eagles' offense and could dramatically increase the role Goedert plays in the passing game in 2026. The question is, can the Eagles maintain their offensive identity if they lose one of the best wide receivers in the league? Think about that scenario for a second. If A.J. Brown is gone, Jalen Hurts will need to find new reliable targets, new reference points in the passing game. And in that context, a Goedert operating at a high level becomes more than just valuable. He becomes irreplaceable. The tight end would be asked to carry an even heavier load in the offense, being called upon in situations that were previously shared with Brown. Can he sustain that kind of workload over a full season at 31 years old? Last season's 11 touchdowns suggest the answer is yes, but it is something worth monitoring closely as training camp approaches. And that scenario leads us to another crucial point: the 2026 NFL Draft. Regardless of what happens with A.J. Brown, Roseman will view the draft as an opportunity to inject young talent into the roster. If Brown is traded, the need for a wide receiver with immediate impact potential shoots straight to the top of the priority list. And knowing that Roseman has a history of making smart and unexpected moves both in the draft and in trades, virtually any scenario is on the table. Which position do you think the Eagles should target first in this year's draft? With Dallas Goedert confirmed for one more season, Riq Woolen reinforcing the defense, and Howie Roseman clearly far from finished in this offseason, the Philadelphia Eagles are positioning themselves to build a competitive roster for 2026. Goedert's return is not just a contract renewal, it is a statement of intent. It is Philadelphia saying they want to keep competing at the highest level, with experienced players and genuine leaders inside that locker room. The big question that remains is this: with Goedert back for one more year, with A.J. Brown's future still unresolved, and with the draft and potential trades still ahead, what else will Howie Roseman do to make sure the 2026 Eagles are a true NFC contender? Which moves are you expecting to see? Do you think locking in Goedert for just 1 year was enough, or should the Eagles have pushed for a longer deal? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear what you think. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back later with the latest Philadelphia Eagles news.